All right. Thank you for joining me this morning. I know there's lots of other things you could be doing, but hopefully you get some new tools out of these sessions. I originally started the social media power hour sessions in 2023, and that session was 5 or 6 sessions once a week. In that, I believe it was the May spring market. So this year we're doing it in the fall, kind of the idea of that the kids go back to school, we go back to school, back to learning, back to, you know, trying to understand all the tools that can be beneficial to us. All the tools I'm talking about in our sessions are free. So I'm never going to promote something that you guys have to pay for because I don't think that's fair. All these tools that I use are free. I have upgraded a couple of the accounts, such as, Canva and stuff like that. But what I'm talking about, those, I'll always just refer to the features that I want you guys to use as the free ones. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. For those that just joined, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to go through some of the apps, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. And to get started, we're going to go through Instagram and TikTok on my phone. So I'm going to mirror my phone, and we're going to go through the tools, what and how to post, and then how to really invigorate your following count. So making sure that people are finding your page, but when they find it, making sure they're following. I'm going to go ahead and share. All right. Move you guys out of the way here. There we go. So as you can see on the screen, this is my Instagram page. So the first thing we see here, the first thing that pops out of me at least, is this professional dashboard. So when you're setting up an Instagram page, there's a feature that asks, are you a business? And you're going to select yes, and that's going to create your Instagram page as a professional dashboard. A lot of us on this call have already done this. So if you need help setting up an Instagram, let me know. There's also a video on our Realty Executives regional YouTube page that goes through how to set up a professional Instagram page. So if you haven't already watched that or you don't have an Instagram account, just let me know and we can go through that. But I'm going to jump right into the professional dashboard, and we're going to go through those tools and how you can use those to really curate good content. So in the professional dashboard, the first thing we see is the insights. So the insights are automatically shown as a 30-day graph. You can change that, personal preference, but I always find 30 days is a really good starting ground. So we have views, interactions, new followers, and then just a summary of the content you shared and how the insights and analytics focus on the different types of content you shared, such as reels, carousels, and posts. So we're going to go into views. Now, the interesting thing, I'm going to go back here and you're going to notice that on the page, it says professional dashboard, the number of views in the last 30 days. So to me, because Instagram is promoting that and not look how many followers you got, look how many likes you got, they're actually promoting to you how many views you got. And doing my own research, views is actually what is the most important to Instagram right now. So it's not actually your follower count. It's not actually the engagement you're getting per piece of content. It's actually how many people are viewing your content. So if we go back into the professional dashboard, we can click on views. So first thing we see is this graph that shows the followers versus non-followers. Now, mine was about 50-50. 50% of the views are coming from followers, the rest were non-followers. The reason it looks like this is because there's one video I did, and I'll show you guys. It's the silliest video I've ever done in my life. And it was just about the Blue Jays and how there's a pitcher named Shane Bieber. And they actually play the song Sorry by Justin Bieber anytime that Shane Bieber strikes someone out. I'm like, oh, this is so funny. So I posted it. Well, almost 500,000 people viewed that video and started commenting and sharing. So that's another reason I've chosen to use my profile as an example here. But I just wanted to explain those view counts. This is not like my page has, you know, thousands of followers. It has like a mediocre amount, but I just wanted to explain the views count there for a second. So getting back into it, talking about views being the reason content goes viral, you can see that the views analytics shows how many accounts were reached. Again, we're talking about the past 30 days by content type. So reels, stories, and posts. You can see by followers and non-followers what they're watching. So you can see non-followers are really not engaging with posts or stories. So to me, that says when I'm curating content that is intentionally for people that don't follow me, so content such as, you know, tips for first-time home buyers, or I'm, you know, a new listing, stuff like that, things that I want more than just my followers to interact with, then I would do that in a Reels type of post. So instead of doing like a stagnant picture or posting it on my story, I can see that most non-followers are engaging with Reels. And my followers are more so engaging with my stories, which is super interesting. So we have a lower percentage engaging with Reels and posts and more people engaging with my stories. This is important in understanding where you should be placing the content. And it's really good to know. By top content, so you can see, you know, taking this video out of the mix, I can see, okay, these, you know, this is a carousel post, this is a reel, this is a reel, this is a carousel post. So these are doing better than like a single stagnant photo. So that's good to know. Who's my audience, and am I targeting my audience properly? So for example, top cities, top countries, if this all of a sudden said the top country that was viewing my content was from the UK, then I'd be asking myself why. Or if it's from the US, like what in my content is not targeting the Canadian audience. Top age ranges. So you can see mine is mostly 25 to 34, 35 to 44. The type of content I post is a lot of first-time home buyers information. Yours will probably be different. And if you're in a position where your audience is actually not what you want it to be, then you have to go back into your content and see, okay, if I want my audience to be, let's say 25 to 44, but the majority of people looking at my content are maybe in that 45 to 54 category, what in my content is not resonating with that younger demographic? And then profile activity. So here you can actually see profile visits and external link tabs. So anyone that has their website or any links in their bio, that's the external links tab. So you can see how many people are clicking on it. So I actually saw this the other day, and I ended up changing my bio a bit. I took out a lot of the wording, and my bio was quite long, so I thought, you know what? I want more people to be clicking on the website. So I really want to highlight that. So I took out a lot of the words, made my bio shorter to really make that website stand out. And as you can see, it is going up 33%, which is good. So that is kind of how to review the views analytics as part of the professional dashboard. The other things in here under insights are interactions and new followers. So with interactions, you can see by content type again. But when we're looking at by interactions, we're talking about likes, comments, saves, shares. And for anyone that doesn't know, something new about Instagram is reposts. And I'll show you guys back on Instagram what the repost button looks like. So by interaction, I can see the likes section. Okay, so what content are people liking? So Reels is about 8,000. Posts is close to 100. And stories, you're going to see the replies here. So I'd say the reels obviously do the best, which is not shocking. Instagram is a lot of video content and reels. Comments, saves, shares, very low in the posts area. So I've actually decided I'm going to start making content purposefully for people to save and share. A lot of the content I've been making has just been like, oh, this is, this does have a point, but it's more on the like comedy side of it, which is fun and like people comment on that. But I really want to get those shares and saves up. So now I'm going to be making some content that is, as you can see, this one here. I'll go back into Instagram so you can see the full thing, but it is one of the top posts based on likes. So these two were more, this one was more personal. This was a birthday post. And then these two are based on things I say at work and how to start the home buying process. So those are some of the top posts, which says to me, okay, I've done all these 3 posts in October, actually. And those are the ones that are getting the most interaction. So that's a good sign. I'm going to keep doing that. Like I said, stories, you don't have the same type of interactions. So what is going to be happening is, where to go there? You're going to see only the replies. So people that swipe up on your story, they either, reply with an emoji or a comment or something like that. That's the analytics you'll see here. Again, based on top stories, I can see there's more so comments on the personal stuff, not so much on the real estate stuff. But if you remember, the analytics showed that the most interactions I was getting from my followers was actually my stories. So that says to me, I got to start sharing my content and maybe some more unique content on my stories. Have I lost anyone so far? Is everyone's brain still intact? And please interrupt me if you have any questions, okay? All right. So I'm going to keep going then. So back on my main screen here, you can see that this is a reel that I made. And I highly, highly recommend when you're starting your content journey on any app, you check out what's out there. I've said a couple times in our midweek mastery programs that I want to hear from you guys on what you're seeing out there on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and what you want to create, what you're saying that you're like, oh, I like that. So when you're looking at someone's Instagram page, you'll see there's reels. So this little video icon, it kind of looks like stacked paper. That represents that post is a carousel post. And then you just have a stagnant post, so it doesn't have any little image there. So on a reel, you'll see a few things. You'll see the audio that anyone's using is here. The little arrow up is indicating that's a trending audio, which we'll talk about. And then down here, you'll see likes, comments. Here's the repost button, and then the share button. So Instagram really likes when you make content that people want to repost and want to either send to somebody, post on their story, stuff like that, because that all indicates that they're clicking on those 2 buttons. So again, all of that, the shares and the repost are all getting that view count up, because when someone shares or reposts your reel, their followers now see it. So then that counts towards the views of your content. On a carousel post, key indicator is the dots down here. So you'll be able to slide the post. On Facebook, it looks more like a collage, but on Instagram and TikTok, it's called a carousel. Again, the likes, comments, reposts, and shares. So again, these 2 buttons, really Instagram is pushing for that, especially if you just think about the logic. the repost button is basically brand new. So why would Instagram come out with a brand new feature and then not want to use it? So you do really want to be making content. This is the one I was talking about previously. So making content more so based on people liking or saving it and sharing it. And then I still do a lot of personal videos. So when I say personal videos, I mean I'm in the camera, I'm talking directly to the camera. And then as you can see, anytime I'm using audio, I have that trending audio there. So when we're talking about trending audio, we're talking about reels and stuff. A lot of people are not going to come up with these ideas or see these ideas without looking for them. And Instagram knows that. So if we go back into the professional dashboard, you can actually see if we scroll past insights, under your tools, there's a few things I want to talk about. One of them being inspiration. Now, I have a note here to myself because so many people say to me, well, if I'm just, I'm copying what everyone else is doing and stuff like that. The inspiration tab, I refer to it is the idea generating tab. I'm not saying you have to do it exactly like everyone else, but it does help create content. So I'll show you. I could be the twist, the one to make it. Sorry, I cannot hear you. I'm kind of busy. So that whole section of inspiration, as you can see, they're reels. Instagram really pushing for those reels, but they really help kind of generate ideas on like, okay, I can see that this type of video is trending. So how can I put my own spin on that? So for example, one of the reels that I saw was based on this idea. So the first in the reel, it was a video, I turned it into a carousel post. So the first section says, without saying your job title, say some phrases you say every day. And then I take the same picture because they did that in the video, and I put the phrases on that. So I took that this person did the same thing, and I used the same wording on the first slide. Obviously, it's my own picture and it's my own phrases, but it did quite well, and just shares a little bit about me and my job, and just reminds people that I'm in real estate, but in a fun way. So going back to the professional dashboard, other than the inspiration section, I want to talk about trial reels. So trial reels are for you to try new content exclusively to non-followers. So when you post a trial reel, that's going to only the people who do not follow you. It kind of sounds silly because, you gather all these followers and then you post to non-followers. But what it's meant to do is it's meant to help you try out new content. So if you're someone that's, exclusively posting listing videos right now, and you're thinking, you know what, I really want to get into posting more maybe personal videos or more videos about the city. For example, Julia, if let's say your content right now is just listings and sold, stuff like that, but you want to maybe start making videos about cafes you go to in the city, then I would recommend creating a trial reel about, a cafe in Toronto that you like to go to, and posting it and seeing if that engages an audience. Based on my experience, I'm going to say yes, but it's going to engage a new audience. So then they see your profile, they see your video, maybe some people will follow you. And then the great thing about trial reels is once they start garnering attention, so they're gaining a lot of views, maybe not a lot of likes and comments, Instagram will actually post that trial reel automatically and send you a message and say, hey, this video is actually doing really well. We decided to post it so that both non-followers and followers will see it. You also have the opportunity to turn a trial reel into a regular post on your Instagram at any time. But this is a really cool feature that if you're going to start doing a different type of content, like the example I gave with Julia, then I would highly recommend trying trial reels. And last but not least, trending audio. So like I said before, that shows up right at the top on any of your posts or reels. And trending audio, again, is a great idea generating tool. But trending audio also helps with views, because when you're using trending audio, it doesn't matter what the content is, you're already posting content that Instagram is saying, oh, people are going to like this because people like this audio. So you can see that trending audio, it has all these little arrows. The green one means that it's moving up on the trending audio list. Red obviously means it's moving down, but there's so many different ones. There's ones about Diwali, there's ones about October. There's just some popular songs, some remixes. Like there's tons of different audios. And if you find one that you like, then you can actually click on the trending audio and you can see what people are using this audio for. So for example, this one, you can see there's a lot of gym, fitness, running. So if I was someone that I know, Jade from our office posts a lot of like workout videos and stuff, I would say this is a great trending audio if he wants to do a post about like something in the gym. Because then all these people that are already seeing these gym videos that are using this audio will also see Jade's, and maybe that brings him a new audience and some new followers. So Instagram really does want you to do well on the app, and it is a super great platform to grow your followers, to engage with people. And hopefully those tools that I've just shown you in the professional dashboard can help you create more content or drive a new audience to your platform. The last thing I want to talk about right now for Instagram is the followers and the following section. So when you create Instagram, kind of like when you get into real estate, the followers, the business is not going to come to you unless they see you being active and see you engaging and stuff like that. So whether you're brand new to Instagram or you've had it for years, you don't really use it, but you want to start, first thing you're going to do is follow your friends, family, and everybody in your database. Take a look, use the search bar. So this little magnifying glass here, click in the search bar and look up the people's names, or use your Facebook list and try and search them. So that's number one, is following friends, family, and your database. Number two, following industry professionals, anyone you've talked to in the industry that you think maybe will remember you, and anyone in the industry that you've seen but maybe not met yet, that you either like their content or, you know, as a friend of a friend. You never know how you're going to connect on Instagram or on socials. So I highly recommend doing that. And when you're connecting with these people, especially the ones that you don't have a close relationship yet, meaning if they see your content, they may not engage with it, you really want to put in the effort to be social on the social media apps. So I'm talking about commenting on stuff, wishing people happy birthday, liking their stories, stuff like that, stuff that takes seconds, but can really affect your engagement. You engage, they engage with you too. And then three, and this is kind of a tip is following people who engage in similar content. So for example, I would say let's say Ashley Tezak. So Ashley is part of our Realty Executives team, but her team is actually based in Indiana. So I go to Ashley's page. I think, you know what? She's similar to my age. She's got a lot of first-time home buyers in her database. So let's see what's her content like. So day in the life. We have new construction for the fall. Some pending listings. Okay, so she's got some pretty good engagement. I'm gonna hop over to the likes here, and I'm gonna click on that. I can actually see who has liked her content, and I could go ahead and follow all these people solely based on the fact that I'm creating content that is similar to hers, and these people are engaging with it, so there's a chance they'll engage with mine too. Does that make sense to everybody? I'm going to go with yes. Okay.
Great. You know me, I'm just sitting here completely like overwhelmed, but it's okay.
I know. It's a lot. That's why I record. That's why I'm always on call. You always got me. And I am going to be sending this out in a slide deck form, so don't worry about taking notes or anything like that. The Facebook, I know Facebook is very big for a lot of people. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Facebook is an important tool, but it's not important for the same reasons Instagram is important. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to look at something called Meta Business Suite. I'm going to show you how I got there. And if anyone's curious, there is 131,000 people in line to buy Blue Jays tickets right now.
That's nuts.
Right? I keep getting I have 15 unread messages from people trying to get tickets.
Well, there's Grant's opportunity to go
Yeah.
down that line.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share Meta Business Suite. Here we go. So Meta Business Suite, for anyone that has a Facebook page, is super important when we're talking about these insights, these analytics, as we were just talking about with Instagram. So first of all, let's go back here. I'll show you how I got here. So I'm on my Facebook. I go to my Facebook page, so not my personal one, my business page. And I can see again that professional dashboard. So on the left here, if I wanted to look at the same insights, the same everything we just looked at basically with Instagram, this is where I could go. It's called the same thing, same company owns it. You'll be able to see interactions, followers, the content that you've posted, etc. But what's more important than the professional dashboard on Facebook is actually Meta Business Suite. So I'm just on the left-hand side here. I clicked see more, and Meta Business Suite comes up. So I'm going to pull that up here. Meta Business Suite is great for creating kind of like a mass amount of content. So if you have all this content you want to post, but you want to schedule it and write the captions, add the audio, all that, you can do all that in one place. The other thing it's great for is tracking what your content is doing. So if you go on the left-hand side here and click content, you can see each post has different reach, likes and reactions, comments, shares. It's a super easy way to check out how your content is engaging on both Facebook and Instagram. because Meta owns Instagram and Facebook. You can do your ads here. You can look at insights into for example, the last week in review, Facebook versus Instagram. You can actually set goals in Meta Business Suite. So if I go to the home page here, my weekly plan, I've set up a goal. I think there was a followers goal that I added to my list. And it's going to tell me, okay, this is what you have to do to meet that goal. This is a more in-depth analysis of your content. So if you're someone that, is already using the trending audio, already using the inspiration tools, this may be a next step for you. And if not, I would suggest just sticking to the app that you're using and looking at that content, those insights on that professional dashboard. A couple things I wanted to talk about Facebook. There are different ways that you can do well on Facebook that don't do as well or are not an option on Instagram. One of those things is groups. On the left-hand side here, you'll see the tab for groups. So you can either look at, in the section, you can look at the groups you're part of, or you can discover more groups or search for groups. It is highly, highly recommended that you join any groups that are a part of your community. So for example, I have GTA real estate. I have so many groups here. This is the business page. So there's Mississauga area real estate and rental listings, Realty Executives, this New York group that we're friends with. And yours obviously is going to be very different. But joining groups is a great way to kind of become the knowledge person, the advisor in a group. So I know that I do see Herb on the call here. There was one post that you did, and I don't know if you can share now, but there was a post that you did in a Facebook group that didn't have anything to do with real estate. I think it had to do with cars or something like that, and that got a ton of engagement. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it was my car. I had it like polished, and so I did like a close up of the door, and there was a reflection of the background, so it looked like it was a live picture. And then as I zoomed out, people realized, oh, wait a second, that's the door. It's not the actual, live picture.
Yeah. And it was just one of those things that it gets people's attention, it engages them, but it also starts a conversation, and you never know who you're going to meet in those groups. I know, I'm not sure I see her on the call right now, but there's one of our agents that truly, I think, answers every single post and comment in her community Facebook group and has really found great business from that, up in North Bay. So that is something that you cannot get with Instagram, although Meta is the same ownership. Groups is not something that Instagram really offers. There is something called a broadcast channel, and well, it is good. We're gonna stick on this call with just talking about the posting on Instagram. The other thing that does really well, and this feature is available on Instagram, there's a large difference between the engagement on Instagram versus Facebook for the business of real estate when we're talking about Facebook Lives. Facebook Lives very much are still a thing. Going back to, let me get back to my share screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So Facebook Live video. So looking at this button right here, you can go ahead and do a live video either with yourself, or if you've ever noticed someone is hosting a podcast episode or a seminar and they tell you it's available on Facebook Live. The reason they do that is because when you actually start a live, anyone that follows you gets a notification that you've started a live video. You can also record these videos. So you can record them and post them to your YouTube channel later. But off the top of my head, I'm thinking one of the coaches that actually was a keynote speaker at our agent success reboot at One King West, David Greenspan, he does his podcast episodes available as Facebook Lives as well. And those do really well. They really get the attention of anyone that's either on their phone or just scrolling Facebook, because you get that notification, this person has just gone live. So that's another thing to think about when we're talking about Facebook and the tools that they offer to really help grow your business. Now that I've kind of explained the Facebook and Instagram tools, some things I want to talk about are the don'ts. So when I'm talking about posting and I'm talking about, videos and pictures and stuff like that, I'm never asking anyone to have all the stage lighting and you have to do this. And no, you can just use your phone. You don't have to have all the accessories and everything like that. Are they helpful? Absolutely. But you don't have to have them. The only things I ask are, if you are in the video, we have to be able to see you without it being pixelated like it's an 80s VCR disc. The other thing is lack of lighting. A lot of the time, people will shoot videos and they take the not caring about what I look like a little too far, to the point where I'm like squinting, trying to make out what their faces is because they're in the shadows, or, they have a hat on. And so when you are posting, you really want it to be, you don't have to make it be uber professional, but you do want to make it so it's clear, it's visually pleasing, it's not blurry, it's not staticky, stuff like that. A couple other things that have changed. So those were kind of the obvious don'ts.
Hold
Couple
on,
of the other,
Michelle. I
yeah,
just want to add. Sorry for interrupting. I just want to
no, you're
add.
good.
Stand by a window. Go outside. Get natural light. People like bright colors. Like when they're scrolling through the reels, something bright and shows some kind of background will get their attention. So stand by the window. Go outside. Stand by a plant or a tree. Something. To get
100%.
that light on your face. Like if it's the golden hour and you're in your car, record then. Golden hour is
Yeah.
a beautiful color.
And also, if you don't have that, look how the lighting on my face just changed. I'm holding a lamp. So there's always ways. It doesn't have to be uber professional. So thank you, Herb, for bringing that up. The other two things I want to talk about, relatively new changes. One of them being hashtags, really obsolete. They do not work the same as they used to. They actually don't work really at all. And the reason I say they don't work at all is because they were used to kind of keyword content, but the idea in content creation now is that the content speaks for itself. So people watching the content should be able to know that it's about the Blue Jays, it's about real estate, it's about, going to the gym. And as much as some people are weary of AI and advanced technology, that is all helpful and has made hashtags obsolete. So you will still see a lot of people using, big blocks of hashtags. From my own personal experience over the last, I would say, 4 to 6 months, the content that has done the best, I've used either 0 to 3 hashtags. So that's something to note that I think is really important. Something else I want to talk about is we did a whole session on YouTube, and it's great seeing people using YouTube, creating content, everything like that. Instagram and Facebook, unless you are posting the link to your YouTube on Facebook, your YouTube video should just remain on YouTube. Instagram and Facebook, they want to see videos under 3 minutes. They actually now have a cautionary button that comes up that says reels that are over 3 minutes will not be shared with anyone except the people that follow you. And that's not something that we want. Lastly, do not keep posting content that is not working. And the content that's not working is going to be content that is under 300 views consistently. There's something about that content that is not resonating with people and is not helping you reach your target audience to be able to grow your followers. So if you are doing kind of an audit of your social media, or you would like me to do an audit of your social media, which I do offer, which is included in being with Realty Executives, we can look at the content and I can absolutely advise one-on-one what type of content you should be making based on the type of followers you want to have. So really looking at your content, if you're seeing content under 300 views consistently, even under 500 views consistently, 500 is not bad. That's quite normal, but we want to make sure that you're consistently going up in views, because that's how we turn Instagram from and Facebook from a regular app to something that will profit your business. So those are some do's and don'ts. We have about 10 minutes left in this hour. One thing I quickly want to go into, and please don't yell at me, is TikTok. So I know that every time I bring this up, it's like, oh no, but it is a great opportunity for video content. And I know I've talked a lot today about video content. And if you're sitting there like, okay, I understand how to post and what I should and should not be doing, but where am I getting my ideas from? You can join us next Tuesday for a full hour of how to create video content that resonates, what apps to use, what topics to talk about, stuff like that. And we're going to have examples and send out a prompts list. So that'll be next week. But for right now, I'm going to log onto my phone. I'm going to show you some content on TikTok and we're going to talk about it. While I'm getting this set up, does anyone use TikTok like consistently? Yes, Herb. Do you want to maybe share about TikTok and kind of how you found it to be?
So what I do is I'll create a video, for a listing or whatever I'm doing, and that same video I'll post across all social media. So Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of that, YouTube Reels. I'll do that just to see, well, how does it, like what's happening? What's the feedback? And so far, that same video on TikTok gets me followers. For whatever weird reason, I get a lot of followers on TikTok, which is great news for me because that means that whatever I posted, they liked and they're following me now. So that just motivates me more to start posting more.
100%. And thank you for sharing. What I'm gonna do now is pull up a couple people. Real estate.
If you are looking for a house that is modern yet timelessly,
let me share. So Simona, she is an agent who actually reached out to myself and Scott when we had 6982 Danton Promenade listed. She
welcome
saw
to
it
Elegance
on realtor.ca and asked us if she could market it. And she sent me her TikTok and her Instagram and said, this is, these are my pages. Do I have your permission to use your listing as one of the video walkthroughs? So I talked with Scott and he said, yeah, absolutely, go ahead. So I gave her consent via email, always written. And this is what she does exclusively on TikTok. She basically only does house tours. You can see by some of the numbers she does very well in those views. And you can also see that when she changes up her content on TikTok, it does not do as well compared to her other numbers. So her great point you made about the fact that the content that you're more consistently making is the ones that are getting views versus maybe some content that you post like once in a while that's probably not getting as many views. So this is what she does. This video here, you can see by view count, it didn't do as well. And there were a few differences in the way that she posted the content. She didn't do a voiceover. She didn't show the exterior of the house. So all that content that her followers are used to wasn't happening in this video, and we can see that reflected in her view count. So one thing about TikTok is that it's similar to Instagram in the fact that it has trending audio, it has you know, captions and all the things that you see on Instagram Reels. But the content that does the absolute best is stuff where you would think, oh my gosh, I'm on FaceTime with a friend. And you can see, I'll show you. So on my page here, something that I've started doing is lunch and learn. And while I don't have a lot of views on that, they do consistently get comments versus the other content that I'm posting. So the other content I'm posting are getting maybe more likes, but they're not getting as much engagement when we're talking about shares and comments. So as we talked about, shares and sends, comments, stuff like that, a little bit more important, and views obviously, than the likes right now. Here's that same baseball video from Instagram. So this one has a lot less views than the one on Instagram. I personally find my engagement is a lot higher on Instagram, so that is where I focus a lot of my time. One thing I am not asking of you guys, and if I am making you feel like this, I do apologize. I do not want you guys to put content creation over real estate. Please don't ever do that. I am not asking you to become a TikTok influencer or an Instagram influencer here, but these are all tools based on promoting your real estate business. So for me, focusing my time on TikTok when I'm not getting as much engagement as I am on Instagram, I'm spending more time on Instagram purposefully than TikTok. I'm still having both because I do have the time, but if I was someone that really didn't have the time and I was already struggling to post on Instagram, like let's say 3 times a week, then I wouldn't even bother with TikTok. So to make a TikTok, for anyone that's not kind of well-versed, this plus button at the bottom is how you create content. So you can see here when you go to click add, there's 15, 16, and 10 minutes. Sorry, 15, 60, and 10 minutes. These are if you have a video under 15 seconds, a video under a minute, and then a video up to 10 minutes. You can also add photos to TikTok. So I believe I had done this one here. Same one I did on Instagram. So it's funny, this one on TikTok has more views, has more views on TikTok than on Instagram. So if you do have the time and you do want to test out your content, I do recommend doing both. If you do not have the time, focus on the one where your audience is already there. So if your audience, let's say you already have 500 followers on Instagram and you haven't even started a TikTok, then let's just focus on Instagram, get that down pat, get that consistency going, and then you can move on to TikTok. Because if you're sitting here thinking, oh my God, Michelle, like I do not have this kind of time, then for now, stick to what you know, really using the tools that are available. And once that becomes consistent, then you move on to adding a TikTok or anything like that. The last thing I want to talk about is it's a super short video from YouTube just talking about some of the changes. Because we did the YouTube seminar recently, I'm not going to dive into the whole creating YouTube, everything like that. That video is available as part of our midweek mastery on our brokerage YouTube page. All of those are recorded and posted. But I'm just going to go ahead and play this short video so you guys know what's new with YouTube. And then we'll wrap up and be done.
What's up, insiders? I'm Lauren, a program manager working on our product team here at YouTube and the producer of Creator Insider. Let's get into it. You may have seen the news from Made on YouTube yesterday, but if you haven't, we're excited to share that we're launching collaborations, a new feature in YouTube Studio that makes it easier to showcase collaborations with other creators and grow your channels together. We've heard from creators there could be a better way to recognize your collaborators, and we want to make it easier to post videos with other creators, build creative collaborations, and make sure that you and your collaborators are recognized. With collaborations, creators can add up to 5 collaborators to a single video, which will prominently feature each creator's name and show a subscribe button for all channels. The video may be shown to all collaborators' audiences, increasing discoverability among more viewers. Collaborations will begin rolling out in YouTube Studio this week for creators globally. Creators will be able to invite others to a collaboration on both long-form videos and shorts directly from the upload flow on both desktop and mobile. Viewers will be able to see collaborations on desktop, mobile, and TV. We'll leave more information below, but drop your comments and we'll pass them on to the team working on this. Moving on, another exciting update from Made on YouTube. It's official, title A/B testing is coming. We know this has been a long-standing creator request, and for the past few months, we've been testing and improving this feature with a small subset of creators, and we're excited to share that we're beginning to roll it out more broadly over the next few months. Thumbnails and titles are critical aspects of the viewing experience, often the first impression the viewer has of the piece of content. They help grab viewer attention, pique interest or curiosity in the content, and help viewers decide what to watch. In 2024, the team launched Thumbnail Test and Compare. If you're unfamiliar, we'll leave more information below. And now we're adding the ability to test titles as well. Creators can test and compare up to 3 different titles and thumbnails for their videos, and have the option to test just titles, just thumbnails, or a combination of both. We're beginning to expand to more creators, and we'll keep you posted on our progress and learnings. Moving on. A couple months ago, YouTube announced the expansion of our Shorts sticker offering to include AI stickers and image stickers, with the goal of making it even easier for creators to tell their story. We're happy to announce that they're now launching. Use an AI sticker to generate something from your imagination, or an image sticker to add photos from your phone's gallery. These new features build on our existing 5 stickers, which include Q&A, Add Yours, Poll, Quiz, and Shopping. Image stickers are available to creators globally on both Android and iOS. AI stickers are available on Android to creators in the US, Canada, New Zealand, and Australia. Additionally, we've modernized the user experience for vertical live streamers with live sticker polls on mobile, providing fun new ways to interact with viewers. Creators can customize the color, text, size, and position of the live sticker poll and include up to 4 options. In the coming weeks, live poll stickers will be available globally for vertical mobile streams on Android and iOS. Next, we've launched new gifts for your vertical live streams in honor of National Video Games Day. These will be available to US creators and viewers this week and will remain in the gift picker. In other words, they won't disappear after a specific date. Let us know what you think.
So that is the update directly from YouTube, Creator Insider. about some of the changes that came in the last 30 days to YouTube. So one of them, I love this one, I've already used it, is the collaboration feature. I know a lot of us, another great example is John Bowen and Hunter Kirkpatrick. They do a lot of videos together, whether Hunter is in front or behind the camera. So now all the videos he does with John, he can be added as a collaborator. So just like Instagram, Facebook, all these that had the opportunity for you to tag or add collaborators to posts, YouTube now does that too. So I think that's a really great feature. And then, like I said, if you haven't already watched our YouTube session, I highly recommend watching that and getting that information, because that was a really good session on posting long form videos on YouTube for agents. That is our introductory session, 1 of 6 for our social media power hours. I'm happy to see that everyone's brain is still intact, I hope. It is a lot of information. So like I said, I'm going to be sending out a slide deck that includes everything we talked about. It's going to have pictures. You don't have to memorize where the professional dashboard is or anything like that. You'll be able to see the screenshots that I add. And I'm going to be sending out kind of the reasoning behind why we use those tools, and maybe a little bit more in-depth explanation than I even gave today. So those are the resources I'm going to be sending out. I'll send out this YouTube video as well. And then next week, we're going to be talking about video content creation, how to shoot a good video, how to edit it in the app. And then I will share some external apps that you can use. But something to keep in mind is these social media apps have created their apps based on keeping users in the app. So they have features like adding captions. They have features like the stickers that Creator Insider just talked about. All these features are available in the app. So as great as things like CapCut or captions are, Instagram and TikTok really thrive on you using their own features. So we're going to talk more in depth about that next week. I don't see any questions in the chat. If you do have any questions, please feel free to speak up. I'm happy to be interrupted at any time. And if that's all for now, then that's all from me. And you can catch the recording of this as well on our Realty Executives regional YouTube page. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. It was great.
Good, I'm glad. I hope you feel better, Nancy.
It was a crappy day. But yeah, overwhelmed. I'll have to watch that video about 10 times.
That's okay. You can call me every time.
Oh yeah, you don't really want to commit. You don't want to commit to that.
I am 100%. I'm committing in front of everybody. I am committed to answering the phone.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. All
Listen,
good.
guys, you don't have to overcomplicate this. I mean, shoot a video. You know, Michelle and I are here. Shoot the video, send it to us. We can help you edit it and put the captions on and everything. You don't have to bang your head against the wall for an hour trying to figure this out. But the more you do it, the better it gets, the easier it gets. And the reach is incredible, because my daughter is telling me that all of her friends are catching all of my Instagram posts, and it's hilarious because she cringes. And then even Michelle's boyfriend is catching my videos. So, you know, I'm building followers. So, and this is with 0 ad spend. This is just me posting. That's it. Nothing special, no hashtags or special ways of doing anything. It's just consistency. That's all it is. And, you know, you don't have to overcomplicate it.
Thank you for our closing remarks, Herb. And if that's it from everyone, then I'm going to close off this session, and I will see you next week.
Yes.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.